Talking to women is like the hardest thing on earth, right? Like there's so many guys, they're super smart, they're really good at what they do for a living, and they have all these great hobbies, but they just have no idea how to actually talk to a woman. One of those guys used to be the magician Mystery, and then he just like spent his entire life for 12 years learning how to talk to women. Like he would just go up and approach random women and talk to them and take notes on what worked and what didn't and refine his approach. Like every single night, this dude would just go to bars and talk to as many beautiful women as he could, and he did this for like a decade. And eventually he got into bed with like hundreds of amazing, spectacular, sexy women. Mystery's like one of the weirdest dudes of all time, and if you've ever read Neil Strauss's book The Game about being mentored by Mystery, then you know all about Mystery's weird psychological mental health problems. But at the same time, like, the dude knows pickup better than probably anybody in the history of the world. He wrote a book all about how he does it called The Mystery Method, which is about his system for getting women to like him and be interested in him and pay attention to him and eventually to have sex with him and to be his girlfriend. So how does the system work? Well, here it is. This is the part that scares the shit out of most guys, right? Because, like, just going up to a beautiful woman who you don't know and talking to her is fucking terrifying. But you have to do it, otherwise you'll never get laid. So here's how Mystery says to do it. First things first, if you're out in a club and you see a woman, you make eye contact with her, you have to approach her within 3 seconds. Because A, if you don't, she'll be like, why isn't this guy approaching me? This is weird. And B, if you don't do it right away, then you'll get afraid and you'll talk yourself out of it. Then Mystery says use a canned opener to get the conversation going. Preferably this is something that women really, really like to talk about. They just find it irresistible and super interesting. The one he gives in the book is, hey, did you see the girl fight outside? There were these 2 women, they were fighting over this guy called Glenn. Mystery says to use a false time constraint. You say something like, oh, hey, I can only stay for a second, because this will lower their defenses. And then eventually what you want to do is you want to become a part of the group. You want to, for example, if they're all seated around a table at a bar, you want to sit down with them. Then once you're a part of the group, you can focus on getting the woman you like to like you. So how do you do that? The first couple chapters of The Mystery Method are all about evolutionary psychology, right? He's talking about what do men look for in a woman and what do women look for in a man in order to best survive and reproduce. And his conclusion is that men look for reproduction value in women, right? They look for the best genes, who's going to be the best mother. Basically, they look for physical fitness. Whereas women are looking for survival value. They're looking for somebody who can take care of the kids. And what does that mean? Well, it means that you have to be high status. Women have a bunch of heuristics that they use to judge which men are high status and which men are not high status. And Mystery is an expert at like hijacking those heuristics and making himself seem high status even though he's not. So in this stage, Mystery tells you, make the woman you're interested in think that you're not interested in her. The most infamous way that he does this is by negging women, right? And this is kind of why the pickup community gets a bad rap, is you're supposed to like kind of give women backhanded compliments that actually lower their self-esteem. And women are like, okay, well, if this guy isn't super interested in me, he's actually insulting me, then he must see himself as like above me, which means maybe I should try and get with him. You also want to talk to her friends instead of talking to her. So if you're in a big group and there's a bunch of people in it, then you want to engage with the other guys in the group, you want to engage with the other women in the group, and you don't really want to talk to the person that you're interested in that much. Ideally, you do this by building your status in other ways, right? So for example, Mystery, he does all these card tricks to impress people, or you can tell stories about the time you wrestled an alligator or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Basically, do things that make you look cool without looking like you're trying to look cool. Eventually, hopefully, the woman that you're interested in will start giving you IOIs, or indicators of interest, in which case you move to step 3. So congratulations, now there's this beautiful woman who likes you, so what do? Can you just invite her back to your place right now? Probably not, because that's not how most women work most of the time, right? Like you have to get her to be comfortable with you, and you have to get to know each other first. And so how do you do that? Well, this is how Mystery does it. First, now that she's shown some interest in you, it's okay for you to show some interest in her, as long as you don't just like give yourself away, right? Like you should show her that she's valuable and that you like her, but you also shouldn't show her that she can just have you super easily. This is also the part of the interaction where you can have a genuine get-to-know-you conversation about like life and feelings and all that stuff. Ideally, you want to get her to go to another part of the bar with you, or even leave the bar, because at that point you're not strangers anymore, you're people that know each other and you're talking and hanging out together. You want to build sexual tension because that's how you get her into bed with you, but you also don't want to build a ton of sexual tension, because then women have all these evolved defenses against being seen as a slut, right? Like they don't want to have their friends gossiping about, oh, did you see Brittany? She went home with this like random weird dude at the bar. So Mystery recommends you take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back, right? Like you want to be the one kind of pulling things back, saying, hey, this is going too fast, let's take things slow, because that way she doesn't have to do it. Mystery says that it takes an average of 7 hours before a woman is comfortable having sex with you. Sometimes it's 4 hours, sometimes it's 10 hours, but you got to put in some serious quality time before she's going to sleep with you. So get her number, make her like you enough to the point where she's actually going to respond to your text messages and not flake on you, and figure out how to spend those 7 hours together and beyond. So anyways, thanks so much for checking out Theo's Book Club. If you're new around here, my name's Theo. I make videos like this one about the big ideas about the books that I read so that you can learn everything that I learned and so you can decide, do I want to read these books for myself? If you like this video, if it made a big impression on you, then go ahead and hit the like button. It's right down there. That tells YouTube, hey, this is a good video. We should share it with more people, which I would greatly appreciate because this is like a brand new YouTube channel. You can also hit the subscribe button if you want more book review videos like this one popping up in your feed. And until next time, go meet somebody amazing and have a great day.